Hello guys, we're returning to some Age of Decadence non-combat playthrough. Let's see how this looks. I presume we're around here somewhere. Lowtown, Temple District, Skyport. We're at Ganesser now. And you can see it there. Seems like a fine place. There's a trader there. So yeah, we're here to speak to our contact in the Merchants Guild. Known as Athansius. He's in the Temple District. So we'll go find him and try to make friends. We'll also try to see if there's anything more here which will lead us to becoming the Chosen One. Because of course that's something we want to do. Yeah, I know there is a preview button on Open Broadcast, but I just wanted to make sure that everything is working perfectly. Unless you're one of those faithful, friend, you might as well turn around, says a gap-toothed man, giving you his best smile. The good people of Ganesser don't want the unbelievers polluting their fair city with their presence. Are the gates closed then? The gates are wide open, but without one of these, he displays a rough-looking pendant in the shape of a snake biting its own tail. You won't make it past the first vacant cross, if you know what I mean. What is it? What is it? Asked the man, truly surprised by your ignorance. It's the mark of House Crassus, the great serpent Ouroboros, whose awakening will herald the end of this world and the beginning of a new one. Ouroboros, I think you mean. That's what I said, didn't I? So if you want to escape his fiery breath and enter the new world and this holy city, you can buy this amulet for one low price of 10 imperials. I should be charging more, but I refuse to make a profit on your personal salvation. Yeah, I were also thinking that if I went back to the city which I destroyed and went the gods have saved me, I might have gotten religious points. At the same time, I'm fine with killing them. So, hopefully I can become the Chosen One anyway. I'll buy the amulet if you answer my questions. Give him 10 coins. Yeah, fine by me. It will be my pleasure, the man says reassuringly, giving you the amulet. So what's all this nonsense about the locals turning the unbelievers away? They do take this new creed seriously, that's for sure. They burned down the Boatsman Guild and slaughtered every man inside. So I'd taken them seriously too if I were you. Watch what you say, or better yet, keep your mouth shut, unless you want to end up on a cross. They killed all boatmen? What about the other guilds? The merchants are keeping a low profile, but now I'm here, so we're gonna change that. Not a good time to be in the money-changing business for them. The guards are doing what they do best, looking the other way. The thieves went underground like rats. The word is, they're staying away from the zealots. If you're one of the faithful, you can walk around at night and nobody will dare touching you. Because comes the morning, the mob will be there looking for those who wronged you in any way. Keep that in mind, friend. What does Miru say about it? Yeah, good. Officially, Meru says the attack must stop, and that all citizens are equal in his eyes, for he's a brother to all of them. Unofficially? Well, I wouldn't know about that, but I suspect that he's happy as a pig. Brother? You didn't hear about it? Apparently, he's a lord no longer. He's brother Miru now. Of course, a new brother still rules Ganesser from his castle, and the mob has accepted him as their leader, so Miru is stronger than ever. Well, we have now been updated on what's going on in Ganesser. Actually, I'm going to do another save as well. Let's do a safety save. Because I am spending skill points. I want my persuasion on 8 and my etiquette on 6. I think those are fairly alright. Persuasion 8, etiquette 6, streetwise 6, lore 7, trading 7. I think that's a good stat line to go into the city with. Is this gonna trigger a random event? No. Okay. Well then, up the stairs. We're crisscross running them. Stop right there! Demands a pox-marked man. He looks dirty and unkempt, yet speaks with a strange aura of authority, clearly enjoying his power to stop and question anyone he pleases. Several armed men are looking behind him, making the unspoken threat credible. The Crassus guard manning the gate shows no reaction, either accustomed to it or being on the side of the zealots. "Which lord do you owe fealty to?" asks the man. And I'm going to go with streetwise plus etiquette. "I bow to no man but the gods who watch over us from their heavenly abode." "Welcome to Ganessa, brother." "Yes, we are good friends, you and I. Followers of gods. And goddesses. Are there goddesses in this setting? Who knows? I certainly don't. So yeah, I'm just having a look around. Crucified men. Let's start by going there. Let's have a chat. Or a look. Dangerous heretic once threatening communal order. Not so dangerous now, is he? Sobbing man with bulging bludgeon heart. Every now and again he gathers enough strength and starts shouting, recanting his words and pleading for mercy. Don't look, just laugh and encourage him. Okay. How cruel. Yeah, you have a question? Pancratius. Yeah, just ask a question in the chat and I'll tell you once I get there. You see a vigorous old man surrounded by a score of enthralled zealots. He has an overpowering presence and a booming voice that carries like that of a strict but fair parent, explaining the ways of the world to his obtuse children. Do your character so the question I have in chat right now is if my character believes that he is the second coming, or if he's a fake prophet to make a profit. Profit, I mean. A fake prophet to make a profit. No. I think Savarius started out with having the thought that, yeah, he was doing this just to sort of make a profit from people believing that he is a second coming. But I'm thinking he's starting to believe it a bit more. Maybe there's something to this. Maybe he is actually a religious figure. He stops when he sees you and beckons you to approach, as if encouraging a shy child. "Come, join us, brother. I can see that you're haunted by questions nobody can answer. That's why the gods led you here. They want you to find what you seek, and they want me to guide along the way. Should I fail, I'll fail the gods and will have to answer for it," says the old man smoothly. "So tell me, what ails you?" "I'm not sure what to believe. What is the god's nature? The gods demand much, but give us very little." Let's go with what's the god's nature. "You might as well ask about the nature of the sun," laughs the preacher. His laughter is comforting, as he clearly laughing with you, finding life's mystery amusing, not at you. "It turns night into day, which is far more important than what it is. Imagine the world without the sun, the world cast into eternal darkness. Horrifying, isn't it? Yet that's the world we live in, only the darkness covers not our eyes, but hearts and minds. The gods will shine their everlasting light upon us, but only if we let them. I'm not sure what to believe. Ah, says the old man as if it were the easiest thing in the world to explain. Do you believe that the world around you is fair and just? No, I don't. Then you believe in a better world, says the preacher, smiling like a proud father at his child's first step. Now tell me, who is going to give you this world? He continues, denying you an opportunity to say something and embarrass yourself. Is it you? No, for you're just a man, lost and alone. Is it your lord? No, for here's a false lord who claimed a title that wasn't his to claim. He looks at you expectantly. The gods? The gods, says the preacher, bowing his head and reciting a prayer. You see, brother, while your mind didn't know what to believe, deep in your heart you knew it all along. A better world, a just world without false lords, the kingdom of gods. The false lord? No man should raise himself above other men, for only the gods have dominion over men. A man who proclaims himself a lord is a deceiver who wants to subjugate you and keep you in darkness. You owe him neither obedience nor fealty, for he is the enemy of the gods. Okay, well, I've already said that I'm not sure what to believe. So, just to see if he says anything different, I'm gonna ask that again. Do you believe in no, I don't. Okay, he just says the same thing again. And I'm not going to say anything bad about the gods, because I am now more of a god-fearing man than I were before, so I'm not going to mess with them. Let's talk to the mercenary as well. What are you looking at? The man's a rough-looking man standing near the gates. His beaten bronze armor suggests that its owner hasn't done well for himself. I haven't seen many mercenaries around here. So fucking what? I was just curious about what brought you here, brother. I came to fight, says the man, to offer my sword in defense of the holy city. What made you a believer? A raider ran me through with a spear. I raised my shield in time, but the spear went through it like it wasn't there. I thought I was a gunner for sure, but the caravan master dropped me off at some village, and the wise woman managed to bring me back with her herbs and potions. She was the one who told me about Brother Miru and his teaching. It took me weeks to recover, so I just lay there and listened, thinking to myself that if the gods give me a second chance, I'll go to Ganesir and pledge my sword to Miru. Well, here I am. I didn't see Miru yet, but I guess he's just busy. What did she tell you? What everyone knows, says the man, looking surprised. My brother Miru used to be a lord of the city, but he was a kind and just lord. He saw much suffering around him and he wanted to make people's lives better. He prayed for guidance, and the gods answered. They told him what he needs to do to bring them back. Brother Miru renounced his title and started teaching people devotion towards the gods. When we're ready, the gods will return and establish their own kingdom, and we will all live by their laws. Yeah, I agree with everything happening to my character Savarius. I'm not blaming him either for turning a bit towards the gods. He keeps stumbling on these cool, epic finds. And it's just like, yeah, maybe the gods want me to do something cool with this. Anyway, I'm gonna say, Amen, brother! Okay, apparently that finishes the dialogue. Well, I'm fine with that. That's another dwelling. We're just taking our time, having a bit of a look-see around. Well, there seems to be a tavern here. But there is... These people are flying. Oh wait, they're the ones on the roof, right? Yeah, they are. Okay, they're not flying then. They just look that way. There's just a glass floor. That's probably it. Oh, here's the House of Styx. Oh, the Boatman of Styx quarter. I see on the flag there. Apparently things didn't go so bright for them. Where am I even? Boatman, the 40 thieves have their place down here. Hey, I want to speak with the 40 thieves, so that makes sense. Plague. A bored guard is leaning against the wall. The door next to him seems to be barred. Plague, explains the guard, nodding at the door when you come closer. Does it happen often? It happens, shrugs the guard, overwhelmed by empathy. What kind of plague is it? The kind that kills ya, the guard says, clearly surprised that people can be that stupid. How do you know it's the plague? A prospector who recently returned from a trip to some ruins fell ill. Started vomiting blood and then their hair fell out. If that ain't a plague, I don't know what it is. It is radiation poisoning, I bet you. I want to talk with the prospector. And spread the plague? Don't be daft, says the guard. Yeah, but it's radiation poisoning, it's fine. You can't... Oh, well, I guess if he's radioactive, then you can catch that. But I don't think he is. So what's the plague? Same as always, shrugs the guard. He makes it, we let him out. He dies, we burn the body and the possessions. What else is there to do? Well, considering that this might actually be the plague and not radioactive poison, maybe I shouldn't lie about dabbling in alchemy. But why not? An alchemist, are you? Asked the guard with sudden interest. You know, a friend of mine went to a whorehouse and now he has this rash. The guard spends the next 10 minutes describing his condition in vivid details. So on his private part is this red mark, and it has this small dots on it. And I had a really close look, and it was horrid, I tell you. It was leaking some green thing. So yeah, along those lines. I'm just trying to immerse you guys in the setting here. Streetwise, suggest him an ointment. Success. Thank I'll definitely. I'll let my friend know. Alright, you can do it, but do it quickly. See a sickly looking man lying on a dirty bed. His breathing is shallow, his eyes closed. Can you hear me? A man mumbles something, then coughs, spitting blood on his tunic. Okay, well I don't have any alchemy, so I can't do that. Leave before you catch the plague. This is where the 40 thieves hanged out, right? Okay, I'm not allowed to go in there. What's this then? A zealot. Hello. Don't suffer an unbeliever to live, exclaims a man standing in front of a row of crosses. For he is the enemy of the gods. His very existence is an affront. A breath he draws is an insult, for it pollutes the air in this holy city. His wickedness... He notices you and stops mid-sentence. I haven't seen you before, he says slowly, as if that alone were a chargeable offense. Where do you stand on the matters of faith? He asks casually, trying to sound indifferent and edging forward like a predator getting ready to pounce. I follow the teachings of Brother Miru. I came to Ganesa to hear him speak. May the truth watch over you, brother, says the man, instantly warming up towards you. What's that? A pillar of skulls? Heads of the unbelievers, says the man proudly. This here, he picks up the top skull, is Aiken. He called the words of Brother Miru ill-invented nonsense. Nonsense! Can you believe that? Then he went on and on, saying that it was stuffed with madness, nonsense and contradictions. The man shakes his head sadly. Of course he changed his mind when we nailed him to a cross. He said his circumstances were deplored, as if that's some kind of excuse. The man lovingly pats the skull before putting it back. Are there a lot of unbelievers here? How long have you been crucifying the unbelievers? Are there a lot of unbelievers here? Not as many as there used to be, says the man gesturing at the crosses. But some rot remains. I can smell it. He taps on his nose for emphasis. How long have you been crucifying the unbelievers? For quite a while, says the man with pride. And it's all started here in Lowtown. We've been petitioning Brother Miru to do something about the unbelievers for a long time, but to no avail. He probably thought it was too harsh a punishment, and hoped that his sermons would do the trick. Well, one day we had enough. Some poor bastard had too much wine and started telling us that it was all horseshit. He dared the gods to strike him down where he stood if he was making it up. Guess what? The gods don't need to reach out all the way down here to swat him like a fly. Not when they have the righteous men like us. So you put him on a cross? Damn right we did. And guess what? Not a word from the City Watch. None. So the next night, we got 3 more of these bastards. Nail them right to give them plenty of time to think about what they said and shout how sorry they were for the entire city to hear. After a couple of months, you couldn't find an unbeliever even if you look all day. But like I said, I know some rot is still there. We'll get them. Don't you worry. The guards are staying out of your way then? You could say that. So Brother Miru did hear our prayers after all. What's he like, Brother Miru? He is like a father to us all. Give up his lordship because he knows we're all equal in the gods' eyes and no man should lord over another. It's not right. The man shakes his head vigorously. When the gods return, they're gonna hold a court and ask everyone who broke their laws and raised themselves above their fellow men. Oh yes, there'll be a reckoning. You'll see. Okay, let's leave him. It's a very nice, productive chat. I feel like we have made progress, made new friends. Just gonna be running around here a bit, see if that triggers an event. It didn't. Well, we still have to look over in this part of the city. I feel like there is a lot of seemingly flying men. It feels like maybe it's something down here. Well, now I can say that we've not been exploring now, at least. Let's try to get into the upper part of the city. Slow day. He's talking. Hector. We're just having a look. House Crassus. That's the house we want to meet with. Hopefully we can get their reputation up a bit. Hello, Hector. You see a man in his 50s standing in the street corner. He has a deep-lined face, slightly bulging blue eyes, and an easy confidence, which seems out of place in Lowtown. The blessing of the gods be upon you, he says in a raspy voice when you approach. Leave. Okay. Was nothing much to say to him then. Keep moving, says the guard, giving you a quick glance. Expecting trouble? I'm here to make sure the new arrivals understands the boundaries. Just because our gates are open to all faithful, doesn't mean they can go anywhere they please, explains the guard. Of course, men of standing and reputation are welcome anywhere, but those who belong at the bottom should stay at the bottom. I thought we were all brothers and sisters. In God's eyes we are, nods the guard, ignoring your sarcasm. Which doesn't mean we shouldn't have order. If you were dirt poor before, you won't be sleeping on a feather bed when you come here. but you'll pray freely and without fear. What about the crosses? It's the holy city, says the god, giving you a long, hard look as if finally finding a word of his full attention. If you aren't a man of faith, why are you here? I am, brother. I was merely curious who dispenses justice in Lowtown. The faithful don't need judges to see into the hearts of fellow men. But they need guards to keep them from wandering into the upper districts. It is not said that... Is it not said that justice is joy to the godly, but terror to the evildoers? Yeah, let's go with 2. Quite so, brother, smiles the god. The faithful can walk without fear, for they are among brothers. What can you tell me about the city? The Magi built this hill to be closer to heaven, to be able to speak to the gods and ask for their favor. Touched by their devotion, one of the gods shed a tear which fell from the sky, but didn't hit the ground. It stopped in midair, froze in time, a symbol of the gods' love and power. They say that Castle Ganesa was built around this holy tear, for to stand next to it is to stand in the presence of the divine. It's the most wondrous and holy relic, brother. I shall pray to be worthy enough to stand in front of it one day. Lore success. A tear? A tear in the fabric of our world? A god's tear, says the god. Weren't you listening? Leave. Okay. I just want to impress people with my lore knowledge. Come on. Oh. This is a nobleman. Hello. Look at them, says an old nobleman, pointing at the district below. Like a rising tide that threatens to swallow us all. I remember when Lowtown was different. Cleaner. When did it change? When brother Miru started preaching to the rabble, says the old man, almost spitting when he says the word brother. Keep your voice down, lest the rabble hears you. My family settled here when Ganesa was nothing but a castle surrounded by a handful of houses. I'm not afraid of them. What was the city like in those days? Was it much of a city back then? Just a castle on this damn hill in the middle of nowhere. Many had wondered if House Crassus was banished from the imperial court. My family was always loyal to the Crassus Lord, so my ancestors left Alium and settled on this hill. Of course, had they known that the lord of the greatest of the great houses would end up wearing robes and courting the rabble, they would have stayed in Alium until the bitter end. Alium? The capital of the old empire. The lawmasters say that fighting was so fierce the land itself was splitting asunder and the city sunk beneath the waves. So it's an Atlantis legend. That was the turning point. We stopped the bastards dead and won the war, but the cost was too great to bear. Why did the old empire collapse? Because I don't know that it was a Kuntari, though. Why? Imagine the old empire as a mighty chariot with 7 horses. The horses are yoked to the chariot and follow the command of the charioteer. The war killed the charioteers and broke the chariot. The horses, the noble houses, started pulling what's left of the chariot into different directions, thus tearing it apart. So when did Ganesa become a city? My take on it is that at first the Crassus lords didn't want a city. They wanted a remote castle reachable only by air, but at some point supplying the castle and the growing number of retainers had become too expensive. That's when they built the cascading levels and the first stairways, and opened the lands around the hill for farming. When the farmers came, they settled at the foot of the hill, so the noble families were near the castle. At the top where they belonged, the plebs at the bottom, and the equestrians in the middle. A perfect natural order. And now? And now? Asked the old nobleman with a scoff. Now that's the first Now that's the first amongst the noble born has renounced his lordship and calls himself a brother to this rabble. I understand that we're weak and our enemies are many, but Lord Miro's going way too far. What he's doing, what he's already done, can't easily be undone. They won't go back into the cages once they serve their purpose, mark my word. Why is Miro doing it? Strength has always been in numbers. Ganessa's population doubled in less than a year, and these people will die for Lord Miro. But are these the kind of people House Crassus needs? What kind of future can we build with them running amok and crucifying those who don't share their zeal? They are turning on each other like animals. Madness. Pure madness, says the old nobleman, turning away. Leave. Let's do another save here. Just because. We can save it as Lord Speak even. Just because we've been introducing ourselves and moving about. Haven't really, done anything of huge importance, but let's see. What is there to do here then? There's a tavern, so of course we have to move in here. But there is no one here. Well, we should go upstairs just to see if we can say hello to someone. Levinius. Yes, hello. Let's go drink some water. Ah, Gaius Levinius. He's the man we're looking for. We had a quest to go meet with him about a map. The man is gazing blearily at nothing, lost in his thoughts. Gaius Levinius. He blinks as he returns to reality. Then turns to look at you. Expression left. I don't know you, he says after a moment. Demetrius Ulfius sent me. I told Demetrius to leave me alone. No, he says that angrily. I told Demetrius to leave me alone, says the man angrily. And I'll tell his lackey to do the same, and got nothing to say to you. I was asked to find a temple, and I don't see a crossbow pointed at your head, he says, interrupting. Tell them you didn't find it. Everyone will be better off. You thank me later for living a long life, or a longer one at any rate. You have some strong opinions considering you never ever seen the temple. Domitus said you never found it. That's right. We didn't find the damn temple, says the man, staring at his cup for a while. We didn't have to. He takes a deep breath and, as if against his will, continues. We all heard the tales of the all-powerful Magi, pacts with demons, betrayal and destruction, the stories from before history. The Lawmaster spelled it all out for us, but we didn't really listen. And why would we? It happened centuries ago. The tales were outrageous legends. The war, the gods and the Quantari, they're all gone, like all the great works of the past, no more than dust and rubble, right? He smiles nervously. That's what we all thought until one day we stopped under that merciless desert sun to wipe the sweat from our eyes, looked about ourselves and found we had walked straight into those tales and discovered just how real they are. So now you drink all day. I drink because nothing makes sense anymore. We and our fathers and our grandfathers have lived our lives in the shadows of a volcano. For years it is silent, so you think that it's dead. One day it rumbles, but you tell yourself you were mistaken. It must have been a cart of bricks tripping over in a road. But then it rumbles again, and you realize that it's not dead, that it has slept for centuries, is about to awaken. Did you tell anyone? I did. They called me mad. The natural reaction to the inconceivable. That's why I came to Ganessa, where insanity is the norm, and to speak sense will get you stoned. Now I keep my mouth shut. Besides, what can I do? What can anyone do? He shrugs and looks away before answering his own question. Nothing. Do you know where the temple is? The young are so eager to throw their lives away, and the world so eager to take them from you. He drains the cup and lets it clatter to the ground. The temple is in the valley beyond the dead river. Has to be. The location fit, and it's the only place we couldn't get to ourselves. Why is that, you ask? Because we lost every man trying to get there. Every single man. But you! He claps you on the shoulder, but the friendly gesture is belied by his bitter voice. I have every confidence that you will prevail where better men have failed. He's crossing the river the only way into the valley. I still think it's the easiest route. Stay away from Hellgate. These screams, I can still hear them. What do you know about Hellgate? Because I want to go there. Not much. We weren't the first to stumble upon it and pay the blood price. As far as I know, nobody who explored it returned to tell any tales. If Hellgate is still unexplored, what makes you think it leads into the valley? I found an old manuscript written by someone returning from a pilgrimage to the temple. This is from the end of the war, so the account is sketchy at best. Apparently the scribe went to seek refuge at the temple, a place he had visited many times before. The soldiers turned him back, but when he retracted his steps to the river crossing, it was struck by a terrifying weapon. His account read, Day turned into night, men and ships burned, and waters and skies which placed. The man passes. I've read such stories before, but this one I believe every word of it. He made no embellishment, used no fancy words. It was nothing but an honest record of sheer horror. He looks away again. The scribe went back, not to the temple, but to what he described as a command center under the mountains. He begged and pleaded, and the guards eventually allowed him to pass. So you think Hellgate is this command center? It has to be, nods the man. The temple, the river crossing the mountain. It fits. You gain new insights which can be used to increase your skill. Dead River and Hellgate added to the map. Yes, guys! We can visit Hellgate. We want to do that, right? Do you know of any other old places? The ruins are everywhere, but all the low-hanging fruit has been picked a long time ago, says the man, rubbing his forehead. One of the zealots did mention that a hole in the ground opened up to swallow his friend's hole. If you want to take a look, I can add it to your map. Thank you. That's cool. I just want to see that hole in the ground which apparently swallowed someone. Hellgate? Dead River? Where is the hole in the ground then? Ah, probably there. Old facility. Well, that was nice. We have made new friends. Who has faith in us. Because as you heard, he believes that we're able to do this. Here lives the healer. Let's see if the healer has anything interesting to say. Medicus. May the gods be with you. Goodbye. Healer had nothing to say to us. Actually, let's make a new save called Information. Since we just got some pretty cool information there. These are the Imperial Guard, right? Let's see, so I am here about right now. That's the old keep. There's a fort in front of it, so that's probably it. So we're still looking for the Merchant Guild person. But we'll get there. Let's go talk to these guys first. House Crassus banners are flying above the Imperial Guard fort, leaving no doubt as to who is the current owner. Approach. State your business, says the legionary posted outside. What happened to the guards that were stationed here? Missing in action, says the legionary with a shrug. What action? You think they stopped to see me on their way and left a message for you? So how's Crassus wasting no time moving in? Looks this way, doesn't it? Says the legionnaire. Anything else I can help you with? No. Good to know. Look, there's another mercenary we can have a chat with. Hello. It's close enough, says the god. What do you want? I was just curious, who lives here? Touched in the head, are you, boy? Get out of here. Okay. I just wanted to, like, say hi. Introduce myself, I'm the new neighbor. But apparently we don't get to know that. We want to go here. There has to be something to do in the temple. Yes, there is. You step into an old crumbling temple, open to the element and passerby, joining a crowd waiting for today's sermon. The preacher, a bearded man with the fiery eyes of a true believer and the mannerism of a whoremaster, appeared shortly after. He approached the crowd with practiced ease, making his way to the podium. Wait. It's humbling to see so many people, says the preacher. His voice is smooth and sincere. So let's speak of humility today. I'm often asked why Brother Miru has renounced his lordship. What is the significance of this act? Why was it even necessary when we all wholeheartedly accept Brother Miru as our shepherd? Keep listening. It is said, says the preacher, his voice flowing like water. Humble yourself in the sight of the gods, and they shall lift you up. They shall lift you up, says the preacher as if stating something profoundly obvious. Any man who lifts himself up, any man who puts a crown on his head, any man who raises himself above others is putting himself above the gods, for he says that he doesn't need the gods. He says that he knows better. That's why the gods left us to our fate. Ignorant in their pride, in their arrogance, our forefathers told the gods that they knew better. The gods could have chosen to smite them all, but they didn't. Had they done it, we'd all be living in the kingdom of the gods now. We had to learn this lesson, no matter how painful it proved to be. Keep listening. The paths of the gods' kingdom lie in submission. We must submit to the will of the gods, for this humble act is the very foundation of it. Brother Miru proved it when he renounced his earthly title and removed the crown made of gold, for neither was given to him by the gods. He kneeled in front of the divine and submitted himself to the gods' will, begging to be judged. For no man is above the gods. No man can rule others, because the kingship can only come from the gods. Keep listening. When the god returns, it will be too late to beg for forgiveness and make amends. When the gods return, we'll be judged. The wheat will be separated from the chaff. The false lords and false prophets will be held accountable, but so will those who follow them out of fear or ignorance. Discard your pride, brothers and sisters. Have faith in the gods. Submit to their will and show them that you're worthy of being admitted into the gods' kingdom. Time is running out. Don't waste even an hour that can be dedicated to earning your salvation. The preacher walks away before you can ask any questions. I wish I could do something. Can I hold a sermon? I'm a prophet. Not a false one, I promise. Apparently not. Hopefully we can do something with that later. Oh look. Oh, this is the commercium. Hello. This is where we wanted to go. Here is Athanasius. I think it's Athanasius, actually. Born into an impoverished noble family, Athanasius was destined to support his older brother, who, by virtue of being the firstborn, was entitled to what little the family had. His siblings were expected to labor day and night to secure his future, in hopes of being rewarded when the day would come. Athanasius, a charismatic and clever youth, decided to secure his own future instead, and took a job as a scribe at the castle, expecting to make a meteoric rise. Unfortunately, he discovered that the court was full of hopeful, charismatic and clever boys, fighting for the very few positions of any value that were generally held by men who had no intentions to vacate them in the near future. After 10 years of learning the trade and of scheming and plotting, Athanasius decided he had had enough, and did the unthinkable for a noble born. He joined the Guild of Merchants, where his talents were needed and appreciated. Greet the guildmaster.
Ah, Master Savarius. It is an honor to meet you. I must admit that the way you handled the guild's business in Madoran does deserve the highest praise. And if memory serves me right, you did quite well in Terran too. So much talent in one so young. Rest assured it will put it to good use.
What do you want me to do?
A year ago, Lord Miru renounced his lordship and proclaimed himself the first acolyte of some new creed. Of course, regardless of what he wishes to call himself, first consul or first acolyte, he still runs the town, although the latter title is more unusual. And now, how Crassus had more than his share of, shall we say, unusual personalities, so it was hardly a cause for concern at the time. Then he started speaking to the masses, as if he were nothing but a common preacher. He brought this ridiculous prophet, and surrounded himself with people of very questionable character. That's when I suggested erring on the side of caution and arrange a suitable accident. Sadly, my advice was ignored, and now it's too late. Miru's creed took root, and it spread there like weeds. Killing him now will only make him a martyr and strengthen the creed.
What can we do then?
If you can't beat them, join them, says Athanasius, as if stating the obvious.
I like this man. I like him. He has a good idea.
It has occurred to me that in the right hands this creed can be a powerful weapon. And the best part is that anyone can control it, which is unprecedented. By renouncing his lordship and claiming that we're all brothers, Miru opened the door to new possibilities. It was a mistake, and if you're half as good as I'm told, will make him regret it in no time.
So what do you want me to do?
Come now, Savarius. You of all people should know how much one can do with mere words. You have the gift. Use it. The town is full of zealots, and they're eager to talk to anyone who listens. Prove yourself worthy, and they'll gladly take you to their first acolyte. Gain his trust. Surprise him with the depth of your devotion. Make yourself indispensable.
So, let's ask about the prophet.
A fellow who calls himself Nabupalasser. He claims to be a living conduit between Miru and the divine plane, sent here to guide him. Apparently he gets at people on fire, speak with the voice of thunder, and other theatrics.
You don't believe it?
I most certainly do. Too many trustworthy people have witnessed these miracles, but speaking with a thunderous voice can hardly be considered proof of divine origins or purpose. Talk to him if you get a chance, will you?
You mentioned other people.
Phelan.
I think someone in chat will notice that name.
Phelan, says Athanasius with a strange expression on his face. Phelan the thrice blessed, he calls himself. Miru's high magus.
A magus?
Magus or not, he can do things that no man can or should be able to do. The guards wanted to kill him, but Miru interfered and saved him. Be careful around him.
You mentioned some rumors.
They say he found something in the depths of his castle that made him a believer. What could you possibly find there? Well, except a tear for the gods. Castle Ganessa is old. It sits on top of a large hill the town's built around, apparently. The castle's lower level go very deep and house very strange things. Now it's House Crassus we're talking about here. Strange should have been their motto. They were involved in just about everything arcane. Every story we tell our children that has magic in it has House Crassus in it. It has become a symbol of ancient magics. So it's entirely possible that Miru saw something you don't see every day and jumped to the wrong conclusion. Whatever it is, we need to know. Do you believe in stories of gods and demons? If man exists, why not gods and demons? At very least, I won't deny the possibility just because I haven't seen either. I like Athanasius. I think of all the merchant leaders I met, he's probably my favorite. Linus was up to this point, if anyone's interested. While I thought Strabus was cool, Linus was more my style. But this guy I think is... yeah, very interesting. So let's make a save on trading. Yeah, I'm a fan of him. Let's see. Again, we're just sort of looking to see if there might be anything which we have missed here. Ah, Estras. He's someone we can talk to. What can I do for you? Asked a man with a tired, bloated face. Show me your wares. Show me. You have nothing of even the remote interest. Wonder what happens if I put this on. Can I put this on? I can. Cool. Maybe it's a good idea to wear. Maybe it's not a good idea. We will see. If it's not a good idea, I suspect that we will have to hurry and take it off. Let's see. There's no one around here. Oh, I cannot see a lot right now. Let's see. There's nothing over there. But you can move. Please. Where am I? Okay. It's a bit annoying that it's not cutting through this house, because I don't know if there's anyone there. But I presume not. Brother Marcus. Yeah, we'll get to you, Brother Marcus. Very soon. Again, just having a look around. This is a cool platform. There's nothing on it. We can do nothing on it. Okay. Sorry to keep you waiting, Brother Marcus. I just had a stroll around this place. My door is always open to the faithful, says a nobleman, wearing a robe and a turban. Their voice is lavish, decorated with golden embroidery, and probably worth a small fortune. I'm Marcus Sidonius Fabianus, the second acolyte, but you can call me Brother Marcus. The second acolyte? Brother Meru is the first acolyte, says the nobleman, his facial expression inviting you to connect the dots. My family is the second in Ganessa, thus the title The Second Acolyte is mine without contestation. So you share Brother Meru's beliefs. My family has sworn an oath to serve House Crassus hundreds of years ago. Lord Meru's creed is my creed, says the nobleman proudly. When he fight, I fight. When he kneels, I kneel. Where he goes, I follow. What do the responsibilities of the second acolyte entail? When the gods return to establish their kingdom, Brother Meru will be elevated above all men and granted kingship. As a second acolyte, I will stand a step behind him and assist him in carrying out his duties. It is the highest honor, adds the nobleman, as if unsure that you can grasp such an important detail. What makes you think the gods will make Meru a king? The true kingship comes from heaven, says the nobleman, raising his finger. Much like a lord can't attend to every detail, and needs trusted servants to do his will and look after his domain, the gods will need men of pure heart and blood, of course, to do their will and administer their kingdom. There is no other way, adds the nobleman with certainty. Amen. Let's not bother him. Let's see if he has anything more to say. No, he does not. Hello. State your business, says one of the guards, barely concealing a yawn. And because I'm the chosen one, I can say, my name is Savarius. I believe my arrival was foretold. We have heard much about you, O wise one, the guards say reverently, gesturing to his men to open the gate. I am indeed wise. I am. I can do nothing but thank you for seeing that. I am also very humble. Some would say too humble. Chosen one. Go inside. Meru. Phelan. Oh, I'm allowed to just move freely here? That's nice. I think it would be rude not to address Meru first. You're standing in front of Lord Meru. He's dressed in the Eastern manner and has an aura of humility and piousness about him, although you can't say whether he is a humble and pious man, or merely wants to come across as one. I have to say though, seeing him on the picture there, on his marble throne, with wings and bracers and fine carpets, he doesn't look very humble. There are no guards in the room, nothing that would highlight his status and station, well, except for the giant throne. Lord Meru is accompanied only by a plainly dressed man with thinning hair and dark eyes, seem to penetrate your very soul. My lord. There are no lords here, brother. Are we not all equals in the gods' eyes? We're measured only by our devotion and faith. Serve faithfully, give yourself to the gods, and you too will stand one day where I stand now. I'm not gonna ask him about not having any guards. It seems like a silly question. I have many questions. You who claim to be the chosen one. The hearts of the righteous shall not no doubt. I claim to be chosen, not all knowing. The gods have told me to come here, for it is this holy city that my destiny will be revealed. I didn't feel that it was my place to question them, but I would question my brother in the faith to better understand the paths the gods have laid down for me. I think the hearts of the righteous shall not no doubt is a better claim. Only a fool believe everything he's told. Yet your heart appears to be in the right place, and I can't blame you for asking for being overzealous and wanting to play a bigger role, can I? Asked Meru, emphasizing the last two words. Was my arrival not foretold? Were there not signs that the gods have finally chosen a shepherd of their flock? When you doubt me, you doubt the very gods you claim to serve, for they are the ones who guide my hand and soul. I'll go with was my arrival not foretold, since it was. Your arrival was foretold because you told everyone who'd listen that you were on your way here. Your faith can't be questioned, this much is true, but your pride will be your downfall, brother. Ask your questions. What made you see the truths? I think I'm gonna reload this actually, because I want to see what happens if you take the other dialogue path. The gods spoke to me. Like everyone else, I was blind until the fog was lifted from my eyes and I could see the truth that was there all along. It wasn't the war that caused the downfall, it was our pride. We didn't want to accept the gods before the war, and we didn't want to accept them after, and after they had helped us defeat our enemies. That's why they left, that's why we're punished. They spoke to you? Are you surprised? You who claim to be guided by the gods? Not at all, brother. I was merely curious as to how it happened so that I can compare it with my own experience. There are ways, says Miru confidently, like a man who knows too well what he's talking about. Continue on the path the gods set out for you and I'll take you to the holy place where your faith will be tested. And should I fail? The divine manifestation can be very overwhelming. Only those whose faith is their shield can survive the experience. What do the gods want? Man has strayed from the path. When we open our hearts and our souls to the gods, then they will return and watch over us like shepherd watches his flock. We can use their help now. If only it was that easy, says Miru, shaking his head slowly. Only when the houses of men fall and the house of worship rises again will they return to guide us. The house of worship? It was shown to me over and over again. A pyramid rising from the sands, a blinding beacon of light penetrating the darkness, symbolizing ignorance and petty struggles. The holy Alakaya. What would you have me do? Keep your heart and your soul open to the gods' will and you will inspire many. What more can our faithful ask for? There's nothing else. Okay, I can show him the map. But first we are doing a safety save. And reloading. Because I think I could have handled that dialogue slightly differently. He didn't seem to be very receptive to my Chosen One talk, which is kinda sad. I want brownie points with Miru. Of course, some of you have watched me doing this before and you know that I won't read everything now. Just everything that changes. My lord. Let's go with you have no gods. Who'd raise a hand against a servant of the gods? Of course evil knows no bound, but I have faith in Phelan. He points at the man standing next to him. He's more capable of shielding me from harm. The man smiles unpleasantly, still fixating you with his eyes. Suddenly you realize you can't move. Your legs and arms stiffen and become heavy as if filled with lead. The man smirks disdainfully and looks away, releasing you. Gods have blessed Phelan with great power, far above those of mere mortals. He was lost for a long time, but he serves a great cause now, as do we all. I want to learn that. Teach me magic, Phelan. Teach me. I'm the Chosen One. I have many questions. I'm gonna go with I claim to be the Chosen One, not all not knowing instead this time. Of course, says Miru, indicating that the discussion is over, at least for now. Ask your question. What made you see the truth? The gods spoke to me. Like everyone else, I was blind until the fog was lifted from my eyes and I could see the truth that was there all along. It wasn't the war that caused the downfall, it was our pride. Yeah, that's... they spoke to you, he didn't like me saying that, so let's try, and you think you can bring them back? I am but a man, says Miru. I can only open the gateway and pray that they come forth and deliver us from wickedness we inflict on ourselves. Gateways, or what makes you think they have our best interest at heart? I doubt he'll like number 2, so let's go with gateways. A vast distance lies between the mortal plane and the realm of the gods. This void can't be navigated, for it is greater even than the largest ocean, but it can be crossed with the aid of great engines and can manipulate the very fabric of reality, folding it like cloth and bringing infinitely distant entry points together for a brief moment. What makes you think they have our best interest at heart? Yet you said that the gods spoke to you. I think number 2 is better. Are you surprised you claim to be guided by the gods? There are ways, and should I fail, what do the gods want? We could use their help now. Is that why you no longer call yourself Lord? The true lords are up there, says Meru, pointing up, in their heavenly abode, waiting for us to cast down the false lords and bow to the divine. Once the truth was revealed to me, I could no longer claim the title that wasn't mine to bear. Even if you don't call yourself a lord, you still rule the city. Must not a shepherd watch over his flock? Must I abandon these people in their hour of need? What would you have me do? Keep your heart and your soul open to the God's will, and you will inspire many. What more can a faithful ask for? I felt like that conversation went better, so I'm going to go with that. And I'm going to show him the map. Show him the map. So you are the blasphemer, shouts Miru, his face growing red with anger. Blasphemer? I've heard rumors that someone was looking for the lost temple of the gods to deliver it to the unbelievers. They will loot and destroy it, denying us the salvation. Everything we've done will be undone in an instant. You will doom us all, and for what? For a handful of coins, for an empty title, for your pride. Answer me. What must I do, brother? Repent and become a symbol of mankind. A sinner who wanted to desecrate the holy shall see the light and kneel before the divine, shall be first to be blessed and guided. Serve the gods and rise above many. Refuse me, refuse the gods, and you won't live long enough to spend your ill-gotten money. This I promise you. Guide me, brother. It is your destiny to find the temple. Find it and guard it with your life. The gods will give you strength. Make sure that nothing is taken or disturbed. This task is more important than the struggle of petty lords and their illusion. Well, yeah, I'm gonna ally with him about that. Let's talk to Phelan. He looks so nice. Phelan fixes his unblinking eyes on you for a moment, stopping you in your tracks, then quickly looks away. You take a moment to recollect your thoughts. How do you do it? I just do it, says Phelan, his voice grating and harsh. Brother Miru says that I'm touched by the gods. I used to think I was cursed. Now I'm not sure. Why? You brought me nothing but pain. I was beaten half to death more times than I can remember. I drifted between the worlds for days at a time, and that's when my gift grew stronger. You drifted between the worlds? That's what my brother told me. He was looking after me until a sickness took him. I slept for days, neither dead nor alive. No healer could wake me up, yet my brother never gave up. He dripped sugary water into my mouth and waited until I wake up. He begged me to keep my eyes down, but I just couldn't. The thrill, the excitement, the power was now too much for me. How was I supposed to know that I was tested by the gods? So now you serve Brother Miru? He saved me from the gallows and gave me purpose. When I took my first life, the pain was excruciating. I was within those men when they died. Or maybe I was all these men, and died one body at a time until only my own was still breathing. There are many living things that kill, yet what killer gets to experience his victim suffering and live through it? I did, says Phelan, showing no emotions. Brother Miru convinced me that the gift was given to me for a reason. It would be an affront to the gods to reject their gift. Sharing the agonies and dying over and over again are my penance and absolution. I think he's right. The pain is indescribable, yet I find that I miss it when I go too long without punishment the human wickedness. Pain or pleasure? Does your power grow still? Do you share Brother Miru's belief? Let's go with that. I want to feel what Brother Miru does, says Phelan. But I can't. It's denied to me. For a moment there he sounds angry, but then he closes his eyes. His lips move, either praying or counting. Then he opens his eyes. When he opens his eyes, you can read nothing in them. I must have faith. The gods have a plan for me. Does your power grow still? Streetwise success. It took all my strength to kill a man for the first time. I was exhausted and drained of energy for days. Now I can stop your heart from beating as easily as swatting a fly. The telltale sign suggests that Phelan is lying. Whatever his power is, he can't stop your heart or do anything of that sort, which doesn't mean that he isn't dangerous. Leave. Can he say anything more? Leave. Okay. Saving show someone. There we go. Just gonna have a short break, guys. Be back with you very soon.